Today's prophecy is from the book of Isaiah, chapter 25 and 26. And this passage revolves around one idea, which is the reliance on God. We hear Isaiah prophesy and say, "For you are a strength to the poor, a strength to the needy in distress, a refuge in the storm, and a shade in the heat." Isaiah continues and says, "For this is our God. We have waited for him. He will save us." It reminds me of the prayer in the Agpeya in which we say, "The burden and the heat of the day I did not endure because of the weakness of my humanity." Ever since the fall of humanity, it has been alienating itself from God. It's been trying to find its purpose away from God, been trying to find its meaning away from God. It's been trying to find a sense of hope, joy, and happiness away from God. And this is exactly what St. Paul talked about in Romans 1. He says, "For they exchanged the truth of God for a lie. They worshipped and served the creature rather than the Creator." This truth is precisely that we have been created to enjoy an eternal communion and fellowship with God. We have not been created to live a prodigal life in which we try to exhaust the pleasures of this world to find meaning and purpose. Because if we live this type of life, then we soon come to the realization in our hopelessness in ourselves and the world. We find that we are empty and we're unable to be fulfilled. We cannot solve our own problems. Our strength as Christians lies in the fact that we realize our weakness and we rely on God. And this is what St. Paul taught us in the book of 2 Corinthians, in which he says, "For when I am weak, then I am strong. For my strength is made perfect in weakness." Pope Shenouda has a wonderful saying in which he imagines Satan talking to God and saying, "Leave the strong for me, for I will look after them. As for the weak, these I fear, for they know their weakness. Because when I fight them, they fight me back with your strength and overpower me." Let us realize our weakness, my beloved, and be reliant on God and draw strength from God, just as an infant in the hands of his loving Father.